Hello friends, welcome to one more session in data analytics. And today in this discussion, we're gonna take a look into data analytics project lifecycle. In this couple of videos, next couple of videos, we're gonna understand how individually these things actually work for data analytics, or for data analytics, how relevant the other domain knowledges are. So let's get started. Now, for talking about the actual project life cycle, we will be getting a total of six phases, guys. The very first phase is called the discovery phase. What we supposed to do? This phase is basically deals with learning the business domain and framing the problem primarily. Second phase gonna be the data preparation, where we actually identify the data sources and try to realize from which all domain this is supposed to be taken from. And then the third phase, where we should go ahead and define what is the model and how we supposed to plan the model, what all are our control variables. So in third phase, we're gonna talk about that. In the fourth phase, when all this one, two, three, the three phases are completed, in the very fourth phase, we're gonna talk about how individually those models can be deployed. One or more, depends on the requirement. Finally, in phase number 5, we're gonna communicate the result to the stakeholders, or rather to the customer and to the team member. And finally, we're gonna deploy this particular model, which we call operationalize in step number 6. Once the operational phase is absolutely fine, then the process is actually stable here. And then once the process is stable, we're gonna finally deliver to the customer. But if at all there are some changes to be made in the actual process, then customer might come back and require for some of the changes. Those cases, we're gonna again start with the discovery phase, and then this process life cycle or this project life cycle continues unless all the requirements are actually met. Let us quickly take a look saying that how this actual thing is supposed to be taken care of. Let us now discuss these phases individually one by another. Starting with the first phase, which we called the first one as discovery phase. Under discovery phase, we're supposed to perform few smaller tasks. What are the tasks? Task number A supposed to be learning the business domain. That means for which customer we are trying to address this problem. For that particular customer, we should be knowing how this business actually operate, or rather what is the business process. If I know what is the business process, then I'll be able to have a detailed idea in every phase what is the customer is actually trying and how I should be delivering the outcomes for those phases. Step number B under discovery supposed to be resource or resource planning. In this phase, we actually gonna discuss about what all the resources are given in various phases to the business process in terms of data. So here the planning or identification of the data will be identified. For example, if any given situation for a customer, it is required to collect data from their customers, then what all are the data fields we should be able to identify in phase B. Further, moving forward in phase C, we should be able to identify what are the problem statement, or rather we should identify the problem statement. In short, what is the problem customer is intended to solve? Now, At this level, we should be conducting multiple meetings with the complete team member from the project team as well as the client side, which we together call the stakeholders. And usually those meetings are called direct capture of objectives, where usually we go ahead, talk to each other in among the team and among the customers. That means all the stakeholders, and identify or rather capture what are the business objectives they are trying to figure it out. Now, moving further in step number D, we try to identify who all are the indirect stakeholders. So in step D, we identify indirect stakeholders. Who are these people? The indirect stakeholders are the people who actually go forward and perform the task for the customer in their business process. That means for a customer, when all this supposed to be happening in that phase, they're supposed to go ahead and try to realize how this actually should work out. Once again, we are calling them people in the process. Now, this set of people will actually go ahead and try to realize or try to give us the real information about the complete process. Now, in step number E, once this problem statement is identified, we should communicate to the sponsors or the project sponsor. That means communication to project sponsors. Once the problem statement and the inputs are taken, that means identification of the problem statement and the information from the stakeholders are being taken, that time all these things put together, we should be communicating the same information to the project sponsor, or who is actually the client leadership team. Once everything is done, we got one confirmation from the customer. Then in step number F, we're supposed to go ahead and define the initial hypothesis, or we call this step hypothesis building. As we know from the previous videos that building the hypothesis is one of the very key aspects for defining the outcomes of the project, of a data analytics project. So here during hypothesis building, as many of us already know, we're supposed to build two set of hypotheses, H0 as null hypothesis and HA as alternating hypothesis. Once that is been defined, then in the last step, step number G, we should identify the data sources. Identify data sources. Now, at this level, what we know, we have understood what is the actual project and how the customer is actually performing the task in day-to-day basis, and how different components in the client's business are interacting to each other. Further, we have also identified what all data are required to carry out the information or to extract the information about client business. Also, we have identified what all are the problems the customer is right now facing, and for that, what all data should be considered to identify where the problem is actually arising. At this level, we have also communicated to the customer saying that these are the problems which we are trying to solve, and these are your real business problem, which is not allowing you to deliver your actual outcome to the maximum phase. Finally, once I got the confirmation, we should be going ahead and building the hypothesis. Once the hypothesis is built, we will be identifying exactly from where we should be extracting the data, where we have identified at step number B. Once this process is done, we will be going forward and taking the next phase. Now, let us talk about the second phase, which we identify as data preparation. At this phase, we should be also carrying out few couple of subtasks to identify how exactly the process is happening. Let us see which all are the steps. The step number 1 or step number A supposed to be performed under phase 2 is prepare a sandbox for analytics. The idea about a sandbox is nothing but an environment, a controlled environment, or a development environment or a workbench where all the data will be coming together and we will be able to perform multiple algorithms on that particular data to extract some result. Now, this can be considered as the tool which is supposed to be working with the data analytics algorithm. Second phase or second step in this phase supposed to perform ETL steps. ETL step stands for extract, transform, and finally load. That means I will be extracting the data, I will be transforming the data, and I will be loading the data. That means let us take a very quick example here how it's supposed to happen. Assume that I have a data source, and from that particular data source initially I have extracted the data. Once I have extracted the data, that particular data might have a lot of noise or might have a lot of outliers, or I may have the data in some other format which is not really suitable for my analysis. So then I will be performing a transformation step for that. Once this transformation is being taken care of, in the further step, we should be loading the data into our analytical sandbox. Once the loading process is completed, that means I have successfully performed my extraction, transformation, and load process, and now the data is actually available in my analytics sandbox. Once this phase is completed, and then I will be getting the data into multiple format to visualize. And then in the phase number C, I will be performing the learning operation. During this learning operation, we will be actually learning about the data. Many of us already we know that I can perform many operations on the data set like analyzing the structure or analyzing the head row operation or head first n number of row operation for any given situation. In those phases, I will be able to see the data, or rather I should be able to visualize the data to understand how the data actually looks like, and that will help me to plan for any of the further operations. Here, I will be also able to identify if there are any anomalies like outliers, noise, or missing value present in the data or not. Further, in step number D, under phase 2, we will be performing the data conditioning or the data cleaning. Conditioning, or sometimes we also call it data cleaning. Now in this phase, we will be actually removing the noise, the outliers, and obviously the missing values. Once that particular process is completed, then we can continue, we can move forward and finally visualize the data once again to identify whether still there is a problem present or not. So this step is once again called visualization of the data. So once this process is actually completed, we can finally say our data preparation, that means the phase number 2 is completed. So at this point in time, we have created one analytics sandbox or the workbench where we actually supposed to perform the operation. We have extracted, transformed, and loaded the data. Finally, also after this phase, we have understood how the data actually looks like, and with the visualization methods, we have identified how many parameters are there in the data and how the data is actually matching to our requirement. Once that is been done, then also we have identified how to clean the data, and if at all there are any noises or outlier which are actually been identified in step number C are being cleaned or conditions. Once everything is finalized, at final step, we will go ahead and visualize the data, or rather we can also conduct some survey. If at all there are some values which are not available in the data, but we want that information to perform some of the tasks, then we can also collect some additional data at this particular phase. After the phase 2 is completed, we're supposed to go for the third phase, where in this particular phase, we're gonna do the model building or plan for the model. Now, in this phase, there are primarily two tasks or the two subtasks which we're supposed to perform, and those subtasks are as number A, exploration or variable selection. During these variable selections, we're gonna perform majorly two tasks. We're gonna identify the dependent variable and the independent variable. During dependent and independent variable, we are actually trying to find out which all variables will be influencing which all other variables in the complete data set. Once this process has been identified, we can go ahead and try to actually perform the second task. During the second task, we should be identifying what is the model we are trying to implement. That means the model selection should take place here. During model selection, we can actually go ahead and identify what is the problem type identified in phase number 1, and then based on that, we can identify the model. For example, if at all I wanted to perform some grouping task, I can easily go ahead and use clustering method. If at all I'm just trying to validate a condition, then I can always use hypothesis testing. If at all I am trying to do some prediction, then I can use any of these methods like regression to perform my forecasting. So at this phase, we will be able to identify that. That means three of these phases or three of this example is actually giving us a hint that at this point in time, we have identified what are the variables are actually influencing the operation, and then which all variable supposed to be considered for performing the task. That means at this phase, we are also doing some sort of reduction, where the reduction for the attributes will be also taken care of. Finally, during the model selection, based on the actual identified task, we have identified which particular technology or which particular algorithm type we are going to apply on this phase. That means I have identified what is the algorithm type I will be applying on this identified data to get the desired outcome. The very next step supposed to be to identify the step number 4 supposed to be the model building. During this phase model building, we should go ahead and deploy the algorithm on the data, which will help us to identify the actual outcomes, and then based on the measures which we have already decided upon, for example, the p-value or the residual, based on multiple parameters identified like these examples, we can go ahead and try to get an outcome about that or take a decision about that. Once this particular phase is completed. In next phase, phase number 5, we're gonna perform the communication task. Communicate the results. Here at this phase, we will be primarily performing two tasks. One, communicate to the internal team. Number two, subsequently along with that, prepare the report. Prepare the report which should be directly communicated to the client, or rather all the stakeholders in the process or in the project. Once everything is fine, the process is communicated, the report is communicated, and client is satisfied about the final outcome, then as a final result, we're gonna make some changes to the existing business process what client have, and then we're gonna deploy this particular model. And for that process, we call this the final step as operationalize. During this phase, finally, based on the agreed model, the model should be deployed at the customer end to perform or to make it more automated. So in this phase, once again, a quick summarization. We have seen discovery phase, data preparation phase, model planning phase, model building phase, model communication phase or communication result phase, and finally, we have also seen operationalize phase. Hope that you have understood the complete process life cycle, and now you will be able to take up any business process or any data analytics project to perform the task similarly in this fashion. Hope you have